Oh shit, catfight!
Yeah, let's never do that again. That was audibly horrifying. More than this.
Turn-of-the-century Japan was an evergreen reservoir for supernatural psychological horror, with two standout films, Ringu and Ju-on the Grudge, leading the pack. Both featured unfolding mysteries over curses placed upon characters by yureis, ghosts from Japanese folklore. Well, to be specific, the yurei of these two films, Sadako and Kayako, are onryu, vengeful spirits back from purgatory to take revenge for some kind of wrongdoing to them during their lifetime. Sadako, for example, suffered a lifetime of abuse after her mother was labelled as a fraud psychic wrongly, and then thrown down a well to die. The problem was that she survived for 30 years in that well, and built up enough hatred to, well, possess videotapes and have an elaborate week-long curse. Kayako, on the other hand, was a shy woman in life, murdered brutally by the only person who had ever shown her love, and along with her son, play a much simpler but deadlier game, revolving around their house, which sits unoccupied with her remains still in the attic. Anyone who trespasses into her home is cursed and will die.
There's an unspoken rule in horror films that at any point in a lifespan of a subgenre, there must be a crossover versus film. Freddy vs. Jason, Alien vs. Predator, and now, finally, Sadako vs. Kayako. So, without further ado,
let's get ready to rumble!
Yeah, what he said.
I can't say I'm a fan of this title card, which honestly feels a bit cheap, but the following opening scene is atmospheric and wonderful. A social worker checks in on an elderly couple who haven't been heard from in some time, only to find decay and, well, death. Suddenly, the tape plays and, well, yeah, you know how it goes from here. This is the kind of shit I love, really setting the standard for Sadako's personal brand of horror. Now, if we could only get a similar introduction for Kayako, I'd be smitten, and here we are at a university.
Look, okay, I get it, we've got to establish the lead human characters sooner rather than later. I just kinda hope we get to see Kayako soon.
We're treated to the first of our main characters, Natsumi and Yuri, snoozing through a lecture about curses, urban legends, and memes. No, I don't mean that kind of meme, this kind of meme. The kind based in psychology, not advice animals.
Did you know that there are still people seriously, unironically making advice animals in 2017? Seriously, 5 years after they weren't even funny in the first goddamn place.
The lecture comes to a head when the professor elaborates more on individual urban legends, briefly touching on Kayako's house when he diverts for a full 5 solid minutes about Sadako's curse. He explains the videotape, the phone call after, and that in this film, it's going to be slightly different. This time around, instead of 7 days, Sadako will come for you in 2 days, making her a more aggressive foe. The teacher even expresses a desire to see if she's real for himself, putting out a hit on the tape, and pulling a BuzzFeed by clickbaiting how to free yourself from the curse inside his new book, which he's selling on the side. Yuri and Natsumi react, well, like human beings, and only wake up from this display of lowbrow nonsense when the lights turn back on, and yep, you got caught, eat shit!
Again, look, this is all good and stuff, but we're almost 10 minutes in, and so far the only mention we've had for Kayako is a fluff nod towards her house. I mean, what's next? Some sort of elaborate 48-hour metaphor regarding Sadako's new time limit?
Yep, that's exactly what's next. The girls reconvene over lunch, where Natsumi pleads Yuri to get her parents' wedding tape onto DVD, and their anniversary just so happens to be in 2 days. She agrees, and it's off to the old local electronics outlet to get a VHS player. They find one and get a healthy dose of foreshadowing. They take it home, finding there's a weird VHS tape inside, and Yuri insists they watch it, only for it to be, you guessed it, the one and only cursed videotape of the Sadako legend. Natsumi watches on, but Yuri avoids being cursed by a distracting text message, and well, yeah, from here, you know the rest. Now it's a race against time to save Natsumi.
I mean, I really can't complain. This is a super solid setup to Sadako. Kayako, though, has just been shafted.
Our subplot for Kayako starts with the family moving into a new home for the father's new job. This cheery girl is Suzaka, and her family has just moved in next door to the Ju-on house. Oh no! And jump scare.
And that's it for another 20 or so minutes. Now we're going to go back to the Sadako plot to advance the action.
Smash cut back to the store where the girls got the tape deck from, and it turns out that one of the employees watched it, and yep, she's gone. Natsumi and Yuri show up the next morning to ask about the tape, and get informed by the employees where it came from, and well yeah, it's the cursed tape, there's no mistaking it for anything else. The next course of action is to go to that professor, who enthusiastically takes it, watches it, and transfers it to DVD, because that's not going to be a problem later. Like, dude, I get that you're the dumbass of the film, but for Christ's sake, draw a line somewhere! In a frantic attempt to now get 2 people uncursed, the group goes to an exorcist. She sees only death, and the dumbass professor decides that he's okay meeting Sadako and chooses not to be exorcised. Again, dumbass. What follows will probably be standard on most releases, but for some reason, this is my subtitle track. I got a prankster apparently, but there's no pranks about what happens next. Sadako does indeed come out to play, but oh boy, she's pissed. The rule is simple. Anyone who interferes with her curse is gonna be dead meat. Seriously, she just fucking destroys the priest and the exorcist, who, while possessed, headbutts the professor to death.
Clearly, Sadako is fucking hardcore in this film. But what does Kayako get?
Oh, just these cut-in scenes of Suzaka being spooked by the house and being told never to go in by her school friends, who literally just explain it all instead of, you know, giving us great build-up or scenes like this from Ju-on, with Kayako and Toshio sat over a bed. God, this scene is so perfectly paced and shot, unlike, you know, this tarot card nonsense.
Okay, I'll admit it, so far I've been a little bit harsh. Now we're finally going to get a scene where Kayako gets on the scoreboard.
On her way home from school, Suzaka bumps into a little boy waiting outside the cursed house. 3 more boys pop up, and after shooing Suzaka off, promptly bully the shit out of the poor bastard and then force him to enter the house. Well, big mistake, kind of. The kid gets spooked by Toshio, and then realizing he's dead meat, tricks the others inside the house.
Is this a murder-suicide or a straight-up murder? Can't really tell.
Whatever it is, this scene with the boy searching the house and slowly getting picked off is great. Toshio does his thing, we get the cat noise, and then a final Kayako tease as she gets the last of the 4 boys. It is just a tease though, sadly.
Look, I know I sound like a broken record, and I keep bringing this up, but this is the most we've seen of Kayako so far. Sadako, on the other hand, has been front and center.
Honestly, this feels like a Ringu film with a random guest star that could have literally been any other ghoul. Just give me some substantial Kayako already. Oh yeah, right, where did I leave the Sadako plot? Yeah, right here in the monastery. Everyone is dead, and now the ladies are trying the original curse breaker from the franchise, showing the tape to another person. Natsumi gives Yuri the tape, who promptly watches it. Welcome to the Curse Club, and who is this? I like the cut of his jib and that sidekick.
This is Kaizo, another exorcist, and the little blind girl is Tamao, and bluntly, they're the best thing about the film.
Apparently, the priestess from earlier called Kaizo just in case things went wrong, and this guy is fucking badass, with hand magic motions straight out of an anime. He's a sillier tone for what has been mostly a straight horror film until now, but honestly it's appreciated with how slow burning it's been. He tries to draw Sadako out, even managing to get Natsumi to let out a small piece of Sadako. He takes the girls home to rest, but not before they get him to make a wedding video DVD. I guess that plot thread totally had to be resolved.
I mean, I guess it's nice to have that thread tucked away. Honestly, I think I speak for the entire audience though when I say, who gives a shit?
Here's where we get some fun scenes, such as Sadako traumatizing Yuri in the shower with some hairy adventures, and Natsumi pulling the film's second murder-suicide by ripping the DVD that Professor Dipshit made earlier and putting the cursed video online. It gets a bit weird though when Natsumi decides, fuck Sadako, it's been 2 days, if I'm dying, I'm doing it on my own terms. She tries to get Yuri to join her, but she refuses since she's holding out hope for a way out. Natsumi locks herself out in a fit of rage, demanding that Yuri watch, but uh-oh, here's Sadako. It's really cool how she comes out of the shadows here, but the woman playing Yuri needed to do a second take on the screaming. She can clearly act, since she's done an admirable job thus far, but this was just silly. That said, the other side of that locked door is pretty damn cool, with one of the more satisfying kills so far. Alright, we're an hour in and finally the setup for the titular showdown is in place. While Natsumi was getting murdered, Kaizo and Tamao investigate the infamous house. Tamao shows off her psychic abilities here by labeling the 2 Yureis by name, but the real item of interest is in the back. It just so happens is a very familiar looking well, which could be a fun setup for later. They go to leave, but bump into Suzaka, who is, yet again, obsessing over the house. She gets another warning, and yeah, well look, we know how she's not going to listen, so let's just get on with the show.
We're about an hour and 10 minutes into this film now, give or take. And keep in mind the film is only an hour and 40 minutes long. It's kind of bizarre to see a short film like this with pacing issues.
So she didn't listen.
Dumbass.
And she goes in looking around, after seeing one of the boys from earlier in the window. Her parents realise she's gone, and then promptly follow her into the house. Finally, after all this waiting, it's showtime. Toshio draws first blood, grabbing the father by the head and dragging him off. Then finally! Oh god, it's good to hear that disturbing, awful noise. Suzaka's mother falls, pleading her daughter to leave, only for the door to be locked. Kayako is just so... Gah! I just can't describe this in words, but it's just great watching her work. Finally, the door burst opens and Suzaka is saved by a gang of familiar faces.
Alright, it's time for the setup for this goddamn showdown. Let's go!
Suzaka wakes up, surrounded by Kaizo, Yuri, and Tamao. They explain that yes, what happened is real, and yes, Kaizo has a plan to save both girls. The idea is simple enough. Suzaka watches the curse tape inside the house, and when she comes out to claim the girls, Kayako will intervene, and then they'll fight to the death over both of them. And of course, if that fails, there is a plan B.
You know, a thought, you really don't need both girls to be cursed for this plot to work. It's seriously ham-fisted. It's kind of a shame really, because the marketing for this film was a viral masterpiece.
Seriously, they had the 2 undead leading ladies troll a baseball game in Japan for a series of public stunts to drum up hype, even playing pranks on the general public. This one's my favourite, with Kayako popping out at a fast food place. Hey, don't judge, she's got a house you know, mortgages ain't free, gotta work that minimum wage grind.
They even set Sadako up with a Tinder profile, and I mean, look at some of these pictures, they're fucking wonderful. I'd take 10 more marketing campaigns like this any day of the week.
Alright, enough time wasting, it's go time. Both girls are in the house, and Suzaka's watching the tape, much to the dismay of Kayako, who is throwing an absolute shit fit. Finally, Toshio intervenes and... Oh, eat shit, man. Kayako's gotta be pissed after that. Yep, she's mad. And now here's Sadako, and it's fight time. Or, I mean, it's supposed to be. Instead, Kayako just drags Sadako off while the two girls run around the house like idiots. Kayako re-emerges, entangled in Sadako's hair, who uses her eye powers to give us a super satisfying pop. Clearly, the plan has failed and Sadako is victorious, leaving Kaizo no other option but to intervene. He jumps in, re-triggering Kayako's curse on him and causing her to apparently respawn, so he can throw the tape to her and,
Wait. She can do that? So how are they gonna destroy each other exactly?
Whatever the case, it's time for Plan B. One of the girls must sacrifice themselves by letting the Onryu possess them and then jumping into the well, which will be magically sealed by Kaizo and Tamao. Yuri nominates herself, and, well, here they are. It's now or never. Here we go. Holy fuck, what the hell is that thing? This rejected form of Nemesis goes down the well after Yuri, but not before the merger causes a shockwave that bisects Kaizo.
Nah, fuck, the cool guy died? Man.
Suzaka rushes off to seal the well, but something's wrong. The lid bursts off, and nice reference to the well crawling, guys, but this isn't Sadako, nor is it Kayako. They've both manifested in Yuri, and now we have Sadako? Kayasad? Fight over that one in the comments section, but not for too long because here she comes! We're treated to a super cool shot from Tamao's POV, finally seeing just how she sees the spirit world around her. I also want to mention that, God, the noise this new fusion makes is just something out of a nightmare.
Well then, good ending aside, we maybe got 2 minutes of the title characters fighting. It's a film with a lot of good moments, but also a lot of problems, pacing being the main issue. I honestly, if I was in charge, would have redone the entire storyline, had them fight multiple times and had them fight much earlier in the film. I'd have also given Kayako a much bigger on-screen role. Cast your mind back to Ju-on the Grudge, where she was appearing under bedsheets and doing all sorts of crazy shit. Like, where was any of that?
At least there's an after-credits scene of the new fusion, and it's the cursed video, but with Sadako replaced by the world's deadliest merger since Rareware and Microsoft.
Honestly, you could do worse than watch this film, but fans of both franchises are going to be disappointed. Sadako is too aggressive, Kayako gets constantly sidelined, and the only likable human character is straight from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. It's a mess in both narrative and in structure. And honestly, man, Freddy vs. Jason might have been a little bit better. I can't believe I'd have said that. Wow. Alright guys, I believe I'll see you in the next review. Yes, miss. I paid you for the night, remember? You know, money. Paid you through to the morning so I could use the basement for the review. Well, shit.